one for the Cowboys and Eagles in the NFC East. Dak threw 4 touchdowns and over 400 yards in the Cowboys' win over the Giants. Philly got off to a slow start, but came from behind 17 points down to hold off the Redskins. Stephen A., which team had the more impressive opener, Dallas or Philly?
I thought it was the Philadelphia Eagles. To be down 17. Now, listen, the first game of the season, you're going to have, your struggles and what have you. And to be down in a 17-0 hole and to come back the way that they did with that bomb to Deshaun Jackson and then another bomb to Deshaun Jackson and to spread the ball all over the field the way that Carson Wentz did, for Carson Wentz himself to do it as well, I thought was incredibly encouraging. And so when you have Carson Wentz out there reminding you that he is an MVP candidate when healthy, and then you add the deep threat that is Deshaun Jackson pretty much coming home because, by the way, he should have never had to leave Philadelphia. That was a Chip Kelly fiasco. And, by the way, how you doing at UCLA, Chip Kelly? How's everything going? Okay.
Because Deshaun's balling.
Good luck with you, all right? But in the end, what it comes down to is that, that with Alshon Jeffrey and Nelson Aguilar and Zach Ertz and what have you, we can sit up there and talk about the Dallas Cowboys all we want to, and they are formidable. Please make no mistake about that. But the Eagles are no joke. And when you saw them come back the way that they did, we have to admire the fact, when we looked at Kansas City last year, what were the things that we were raving about? Of course, Patrick Mahomes was that guy. But what we also noticed is that in the blink of an eye, they could explode. When we looked at Miami, when they had LeBron and D-Wade, in the blink of an eye, they could explode. When we looked at the Golden State Warriors with Steph, Clay, and Kevin Durant and the crew, and Damian Lillard talked about what happened. He's like, man, we be up. They were up 17, 18 points in all 4 games. Mm-hmm. And he said, before we blink, bow, the lead was gone. This is what the Eagles showed me they are capable of. I like that because I think that's what it's going to take the NFC.
I respect that point of view because the Giants are nothing. The Giants have Saquon Barkley, and that's it. Yeah. And, they have some NFL players on the roster.
Yeah,
but
Ingram and Shepard.
Yeah, Ingram is going to be a very good patch passing. Maybe he already is catch passing tight end. And Shepard's a good route runner and all that stuff. But come on. All NFL teams have guys like that. The Giants are outside of Miami. They look like they have the worst roster in football. So I get it. However, it's not like Washington is loaded. And they were up 17. The Eagles were playing at home.
That's a good point.
And Washington was up 17. The Eagles had to come back on them. Now, I get what you mean. It's impressive because you saw that ability to come back and in an eye blink. And that late score by Washington made it look closer than it was. The Dallas Cowboys can't control who's on the schedule. What they can do is control the way they play. All facets of the game. They looked spectacular. Dak was perfect, at least according to his quarterback rating. Mm-hmm. They didn't even have to, as you mentioned, give the ball to Zeke. Amari Cooper was excellent. You have Callaway, guys with high upside potential, showing you the defense got after it. The linebackers did their thing. They got pressure on the quarterback without having to blitz. If you're just asking who was more impressive, I respect your argument, but the answer was the Dallas Cowboys.
I I hate to toot my own horn, but I thought the Dallas Cowboys definitely looked better between the two. Listen, I think most people, most people at the table would agree that Philadelphia is a real trendy pick to go to
I like it more than the Cowboys.
Yeah. I actually picked Philadelphia to win the NFC East. So, but when I look at the Dallas Cowboys, first of all, they got a first-year play caller in Kellen Moore. No one had any expectation of what this offense was going to look like. Considering he was a former player just a couple years ago. Now he's calling plays for the Dallas Cowboys. Jason Garrett relinquished his input into offense and let Kellen Moore do it. And without the running game that the Dallas Cowboys have been accustomed to having and controlling the clock, because that's really been their formula. Control the clock with the running game, defense stay fresh. But Dak Prescott looked unbelievable. He looked confident. He was spreading the ball around. Yeah. Play action pass. A lot of the concepts that you were seeing from the Dallas Cowboys offense was like, well, where has that been? Why haven't you guys been running that for some time now? So you got to give a lot of credit to, the new play calling Kellen Moore and Dak Prescott is like, every game that you don't pay me, it becomes that more expensive for the Dallas Cowboys.
So? And Gallup and Cooper were fantastic.
Absolutely.
You think that's right? I don't know. I know that there's this idea. You better pay him now or else. If you just reset the market with Ezekiel Elliott and you're about to reset it with Dak, in fact, my point of view at this point is You're buying Dak at the top of the market now. You're never going to have to pay more. Even if he goes on a tear like this the whole season, he ain't going to make any more money if he's already going to reset the market as is.
You don't think You don't think if he tears up this league this year, you don't think he'll make more than Wentz? Sign a bigger deal than Wentz?
I think they're going to give him a bigger deal anyway. Is my point. And if they already plan on resetting the market with him, what difference does it make when you get? I mean, it's a moot point. They're going to get it done soon. But if I were them at this point, I might wait. You're buying at the top of the market.
Well, no. I don't know if you wait, because I think the longer you wait, the more you're going to end up having to pay Dak. I think the sooner you pay Dak, the better off you be. That's just my personal opinion. I just think that that's what they should do. And not only that, you sort of get to a point where it's like, all right, you signed La'el Collins, you signed Jalen Smith, you signed Ezekiel Elliott, but your quarterback is the one left waiting.
Yeah.
You know, come on now. At some point in time, you got to step up. You got to take care of this young man. Having said all of that, we saw Dak Prescott throw for over 400 yards yesterday, and we're seeing him and expect to see him flinging the football more, because that's what the new offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, wants to do. That's supposed to be what differentiates him from his success, from his predecessor in Scott Linehan. But in the end, Ezekiel Elliott, as he gets his wheels under him, this brother's going to carry the ball a hell of a lot more than 13 times.
Correct.
In the case of the Philadelphia Eagles, what you saw is exactly what we expect.
Yep.
Carson Wentz is going to have to fling that football in order to get it done. And the only question is, can you keep him upright? If you can keep him upright and healthy, we all expect the Eagles to have something to say about supremacy in the NFC.
Former back right, and Nick Foles upright. Excuse me. We got to go to break. Damian staying with us. League MVP Patrick Mahomes. He's something special. Picked up where he left off last season, but is he the best player in the league? Period. Also, there's a major injury on that team. We'll get into it. We got another huge show for you tomorrow.
Listen up. I'm taking First Take on the road with Max and Molly to HBCU Week's College Fair. Join us Friday, September 20th at the 76ers Fieldhouse in Wilmington, Delaware. You don't want to miss this First Take live broadcast. We'll have special guests like Irvin Magic Johnson, HBCU marching bands, a step show, Delaware State's drumline, live DJ, and come watch me crush Max, of course. That's live as well. Now listen to your boy Stephen A. Seeing us live is 10 times better, so don't you dare miss First Take in Wilmington, Delaware at the 76ers Fieldhouse. Friday, September 20th. Doors open at 7 a.m. and it's free.
I'm David Lloyd. Coming up on a 90-minute coast-to-coast top of the hour, Ryan Clark live on how Tom Brady just toyed with the Steelers again. Plus, Mort joins us live with the urgency now in Dallas to get Dak a new deal after what he showed yesterday. Coast-to-coast with me and Kerry Champion coming up top of the hour on ESPN. And now back to First Take.
David, thank you kindly. Showtime Mahomes is the truth. Picked up right where he left off in his MVP season, throwing 3 touchdowns, nearly 400 yards in a win at Jacksonville. It didn't come without a cost, though. Tyreek Hill has a broken left collarbone. He will miss a few weeks, that according to Adam Schefter. Gentlemen, here's the question. Is Mahomes the best player in the NFL? Max.
What does MVP mean? He's the most valuable player in the league last year. There was no debate. Like, the debate didn't even come from another quarterback. It came from Aaron Donald, right? Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is the best player in football. I'm ready to say that right now. And he's going to do it without Tyreek Hill. Let me explain something. He threw, in his first year starting, he looked to the eye like a combination of Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. He looked like Brett Favre, but with fewer turnovers, right? Like, and should have gone to the Super Bowl, went to the AFC Championship game, which came down to the wire. And you follow up a 50-touchdown performance as a first-year starter and an MVP that no one really debates with 378 yards, 3 touchdowns, 143 passer rating, and 11.5 yards per attempt? What am I supposed? Like, all I need to see is, can you defend the MVP crown, right? Be in the mix, 2-3. He is the Mike Trout of football. A generationally, historically significant talent.
I think there's a difference between the best player and the most important player. There's a distinction there, okay? Because I'm going to ask you this question. Who plays their position better? Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Donald?
Aaron Donald, I guess.
Aaron Donald plays his position right now better.
It's a much less important position.
Right, but we're talking about who's the best football player. So to me, it's not, we can always go to the quarterback because the quarterback is the most important position in football. But who plays their position the best in the National Football League? To me, it's Aaron Donald.
I guess. Mahomes is so good that could be an argument.
Listen, the difference between Aaron Donald and the next best guy
Like twice as good as
is so. I mean, it's about as big as this river out here. Okay.
I know we run out of time. Listen, I don't disagree with either Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Donald, tomato. You're right. But I watched Tom Brady last night. My God, this dude. I mean, again, it might be because the Steelers still don't have a damn defense. Again, they haven't had a top 10 defense in a while. But the surgeon that he is on the football field, and I mean to be 42, and there's no loss in velocity that I could tell. You see the accurate. I mean, this dude just picks people apart. And it's not just about throwing the football. It's about reading defenses. I saw him demoralize guys. And I never forget Hugh Douglas, my man Hugh Douglas said to me years ago. He was at the defensive line of scrimmage and he was depressed because he was going against Dan Marino. And Dan Marino walked up and told the team what all four guys in front of him were about to do. Plus the linebackers. They're like, damn, we thought we had it. The man knew everything. That's Tom Brady. He knows everything. You can't fool him. You can't trick him. You can't outsmart him.
Well, these two linked up in the AFC Championship game last year, and as I recall, if not for a pre-snap penalty, Tom Brady throws an interception to end the game.
Yesterday against Jacksonville, there was a lot of wide-open receivers for Kansas City. That defense for Jacksonville was not that impressive.
There weren't wide-open receivers against the Steelers.
Andy Reid, but you just superior talent. Andy Reid has I'm not taking anything away from Patrick Mahomes. I agree with you. But Andy Reid knows what he's doing with this kid.
No doubt.
Knows what he's doing.
No doubt. I'm not using the Belichick line with
Tom
Brady
Brady don't have to do anything.
Andy Reid with
I don't even know if Belichick got the coach offense. I mean, my God.
Tom Brady.
He just picks people apart.
Tom Brady's like where Peyton Manning once was, only he doesn't fall off in the playoffs.
All right. I started the show this morning and I said, is the season canceled?
Yeah.
I personally think it's canceled because the Patriots got a B. We asked people in Twitter, 54% said yes, party's over. Just
I would only say this. This is the only one caveat, and I'll throw it to y'all. The only caveat is if somebody out there can rush with just your four and get to the quarterback. That would happen to be maybe Chicago. Here's the problem. Your offense ain't good enough. That's the problem. There's got to be somebody.
The football player in me says no. I just